It had to come down to the third day. It wasn't a test match. Can you believe that? I can't even believe I'm saying it. But yes, what a final we've had. A match worthy of a final in all sorts, and such a fairy tale ending to one of the greatest franchises that we'll ever see in the history of T20 cricket. Chennai Super Kings, they're winning. And how Jadeja, my man, I think that was an absolute brilliant knock. No matter what, he stayed like 8-9 balls, but he saw his side home. And to do that under pressure was something else. That's on another level. And in the end, CSK just winning that match there, and how the fans must be delighted. We are all delighted because in the end, like we said, there was only one team that was going to win. It was written for them and it had to be them. Welcome back to Boundary Line Podcast, guys. My name is Dylan Pink. I got Sheldon Doherty on the show with me. Sheldon, I don't know whether you're surprised now that CSK has won this, because we've been saying this all along. It's written for them. It's going to happen. MS is going to lift another cup. But it's happened, and in what manner it's happened, Sheldon. Rain played spoil sport on the first day. We went into the second day. GT batted there. Again, the rain came down and played spoil sport. We moved into the third day. But what a finish from CSK, Sheldon. You know, the saying goes that you can never write off champions. 9th last year, champions this year.
Dil, very well said, Dil. And it's just insane. Life comes full circle. You think Chennai, a few years ago, they lost a final on the last ball to the Mumbai Indians. Remember, heartbreak for Chennai fans.
Oh, yeah,
all over in that final. And you think the way this tournament started, losing in Ahmedabad on, the opening day of the tournament to Gujarat. Before the playoffs, they had never beaten Gujarat. And what did they do, Dil? What Chennai always do. They come back as champions, beat Gujarat twice in a row to win the cup in the playoffs. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, right? And what a win for Chennai. 5 IPL titles. And MS Dhoni's men, again, they were written off at the start of the tournament. Many people didn't give them a chance. Weak bowling attack. Oh, do they have enough bases covered? But where are they at the end? Lifting that cup, on the third day of the final.
Oh, Sheldon, even you said it pretty well there. But I just can't understand this, Sheldon. Like, how does this team with a mediocre bowling lineup, and I may be too harsh, but at the start of the tournament, no one gave them a chance. With that sort of a lineup, Tushar Deshpande, Deepak Chahar injured coming back. Moeen Ali also didn't bowl. Ben Stokes not playing enough. So they had the issue, Sheldon. But to go ahead, in spite of all that, and win the IPL is something else. Like, the most important thing they showed in Gujarat, they were asked to bat first. I thought, whether MS was doing something wrong there with the toss. Of course, the rain and everything, had to keep in mind all that. But I was like, oh no, oh boy, no. I think he's making a mistake now. Like, in a final, MS Dhoni doesn't do that. We all know Dhoni. He wins the toss, he bats, puts pressure with his spinners, and that's about it, right? But Gujarat asked to bat, Sheldon, and what a start by them. Gill, Saha, Sai Sudarshan, Pandya, all getting runs there. And you would have thought that this is done and dusted now for CSK. 214, the highest score in a final. What was in your mind when after that first innings was over?
Oh, Adil, that first innings was just Gujarat at their best, right? Like, if you just saw the score at halftime, you thought, okay, Gujarat's winning this. I mean, it's the highest score ever in a final. Gujarat's bowling attack, they have all bases covered. This should be way too much for Chennai. And I mean, the way Gujarat approached that, the way they batted in a final in that first innings was just so good. And you almost feel bad for Gujarat now looking at it that they lost, because they pretty much were perfect for most of the game and they ended up losing on the last ball. But Sai Sudarshan, Dil, what an innings in a final. And he's 21, Dil. He's younger than me. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. This guy's playing
You're
IPL
making
finals.
podcasts, bro. You're making podcasts here.
Yeah, making podcasts talking about him. But what a knock, Dil. And, he started a bit slow. The bit of an anchoring, at the start. But then the way he caught up in the end, Dil. What a knock, right? To play in a final.
Absolutely, Sheldon. Well said. They're 96 and 47 balls, 21-year-old in the final against a premier side, one of the biggest franchises ever, on the big stage. To come and do that is something sensational. Some of the shots were just outrageous. He absolutely didn't care what was happening. Of course, Gill also got off to a good start. Saha there also hitting a good 50 finally. But Sai Sudarshan just took the game to another level. And that's the question what I want to ask Sheldon about here is, we've spoken about Jaiswal, we've spoken about Prithvi Shaw back in the day, and now Gill this season, the thing that he's had. Some of the guys that have gone, who have impacted their team, but just not in the news enough. Sai Sudarshan, I think, is one of those guys. And you'd have to think that the amount of talent India has right now with they can easily send these guys and to play everywhere, right? And those shots, Sheldon, I just can't forget about that, especially the one where he tried to flick it behind and it went all the way for six. And even Hardik Pandya was like, wow, that's some shot, right?
Yeah, quite insane the way he played. And as you mentioned, so much depth, for India. And even you looked at Chennai side, how they have Dube, who's come in this tournament and been, he's gone under the radar because of some of the other stars. And like so many young Indian batsmen. Gaikwad as well played pretty well as a cameo yesterday. And like so many stars like this. And easily they could fill a T20 lineup, with players who are not playing Test and ODI, with just young guys like Samson and all. And it could be a brilliant team as well who could compete on all fronts. But yeah, what an innings for Sai Sudarshan. What did you think about CSK's bowling though, Dil? Yesterday, it wasn't at its best, right? To concede that much, you feel? Maybe like leaving also the seamers too much to bowl in the death. I thought there was like maybe a bit of an error there.
Even I thought, Sheldon, that, that was a bit of a thing there for them in the field and with the ball. CSK, so many misfields. There was a drop catch early on of Gill. And the bowling was all over the place. And you could see it on MS's face. But how calm was MS? That's the beauty of this. Like, you want to learn leadership lessons. I think just watch MS Dhoni, because that was brilliant. Didn't lose his cool, didn't lose his calm, just kept a straight face and went back into the dressing room, assessed everything and came back again. I mean, Sheldon, only champion guys could do that. Like you said, the bowling was all over the place. I thought MS went in with a big risk, with just those bowlers. 5 bowlers going into a final was a big ask. And especially when they were going all over the park, I thought this was done for them. But everyone has been discussing this and MS Dhoni and how it's unraveled for him this season. But I get the feeling that no matter how much you say, Sheldon, no matter how much you speak about the guy, it's just not enough, because he's got so much to give. Like, the most important question I want to ask is, how can a person who's achieved so much be so humble still? You see him at the end of the game, he's there. He asks Rayudu to come and hold the cup. I mean, this guy is almost probably can be his last IPL as well. Who does that? Asking a guy who's retired already, which was Rayudu's last game as well. He calls him up and asks him to take the cup. Who does that? And for him to do that, you could see how much it meant to him also. The emotions were high for MS last night, right?
Yeah, Dil, very well said. I mean, it's just so impressive as well how his captaincy gets better and better. And I feel this is his most impressive win as IPL captain because of the squad he had. It was not the best squad you feel on paper, especially the bowlers, but the way he managed those youngsters. Desh Pandey, I know yesterday wasn't his best game, but the way he's come up, in this tournament from the first game, he improved so much throughout the tournament. Pati Rana, he had a pretty good tournament. Of course, not in the final, not his best, but again, you never heard of most of these bowlers pre-tournament, and they just came in and bowled well. Theeksana, who picks them as their first spinner, right? Not many teams. I mean, obviously, like he had Jadeja though, and we got to talk about him more, what he did with the bat. But even with the ball, Dil, how many times do you give Jadeja the ball and he just does things? I feel like we've been talking about Jadeja since the start of the Border Gavaskar Trophy.
I was going to say that.
That's how much we've been talking about him, but he just always delivers for Dhoni, always delivers for India, for CSK. He's just such an all-round talent. And again, with the ball, I thought he did really well to get Gill out early as well. And I thought that was a key moment in the game.
Absolutely. That was a key moment. And Dhoni's lightning quick behind the stumps. I just couldn't believe how he did that. Some say like, is he going to retire? After watching that, I think don't even talk about retirement to Dhoni, because that's something insane. Like, I've not seen any wicketkeeper do that quick. But yes, Sheldon, Ravindra Jadeja, there's no words to describe that knock yesterday. First of all, he comes in at a crunch moment there, 2 overs to go almost, can't get it off the bat. Gujarat's bowling in the zone, and you would have to think that with 2 balls to go, 10 to win. What are the odds Jadeja hits a 6 and a 4 to finish it? Like, Mohit Sharma was on a roll. Up until that 4th ball, Mohit Sharma was on a roll. There was no way you could hit him, but cricket's a very cruel game, right, Sheldon? We've been speaking about that all along. Such a cruel game. He just erred a little bit in line and length, and it was done. The moment even that 6 went, you knew that the next ball, Jadeja was going to do something special. Yes, Sheldon, we've been speaking about him right throughout the Border Gavaskar Trophy there. We can go on and on about this guy. He's gun in the field. He's brilliant with the ball. Almost this entire season for CSK, he's gone unnoticed there, going at 5 runs per over, 6 runs per over, taking wickets. Even yesterday, bowled really well, picked up the key wicket of Shubman Gill, brilliant in the field. And then when it mattered the most, when Dhoni couldn't do the job there, he just sealed it for CSK. And I'm so happy right now because a lot has been said about Jadeja also. If you remember, in one of the seasons, he was captain. Then he had to give it back to Dhoni. Dhoni came back. A lot was going on between him as well, right? And to see him finished game, Sheldon, is just wonderful. And like Shane once said in 2008, I think when the first IPL was there, he said that watch out for this guy. This guy's going to be a rock star. He is
Yeah.
an absolute champion. And I think Shane Warne's words has come true there. It couldn't have been better than Jadeja hitting those runs there and running to Dhoni. I mean, some of the scenes we'll discuss, Sheldon. But before we discuss about those final moments, Sheldon, you got a feel for Gujarat. Did you feel that after scoring 200 on that wicket, 170, was it a fair total in 90 balls? 15 overs, 170. Still not an easy target, but did you feel like, okay, fine, CSK has the edge now? Or was it like, okay, it's even now? Like, 170, 90 is equally tough to get in a final, that too.
I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people are talking about it now and saying, oh, it was easier for CSK to chase it. 170 in 15 overs isn't easy. That's almost 12 runs per over in a final to get. I mean, the way people are talking about it is as if CSK had to chase 5 runs per over and they just came and absolutely hit it. Like, my God,
Exactly.
like the way they're taking credit away. Like, Gujarat had an equal chance. I feel it was 50-50. Okay, maybe it slightly brought CSK more into the game because less overs. But I still felt like Gujarat had an equally good chance. And I mean, you still have so many overs from Rashid Khan and Noor Ahmed and Shami and Mohit Sharma. And remember, Gujarat had 6 bowling options as well because they had Pandya who can bowl as well. So they had even more bowling options as well. I feel for Gujarat, the thing they'll be more upset with is probably the key bowlers didn't bowl as well yesterday. I thought Shami and Rashid Khan were not at their best yesterday, unfortunately for them. And I mean, they can have an off day. They've been superb during the tournament. The top 2 wicket takers of the tournament as well,
Exactly,
Shami and Rashid Khan. So they've been brilliant. But I just want to mention Noor Ahmed. I thought he was the bowler of the day yesterday. The way he bowled, under pressure in the evening when the ball was a bit wet as well. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. For a young kid, like he was superb yesterday.
Right, Sheldon. Noor Ahmed, their brilliant spell there, almost kept CSK in check there. But just those final few overs, Sheldon, I was just on the edge of my seat there. I didn't know what was going to happen because it was pretty much anyone's game until then. And you could see the team that held their nerve the most was going to win. But coming to those final moments when CSK won and everyone was running, Dhoni there just sitting down and he didn't move. I don't know what was going through his mind there. It's almost like a mystery, right? He comes with that. And in the end, even everybody wanted CSK to win. I think as much as anyone, I think Gujarat wanted CSK to win because you see how much that meant to everyone right there in the crowd. Hardik Pandya also said that. I mean, surprising, but it just goes to show, Sheldon, yes, it may be a final, but it's just one of those games that you don't mind losing to Dhoni. That's what he said, right? If there was any person I don't mind losing, it's to Dhoni because he's the ultimate guy there. Because all this time, Sheldon, we've been thinking that it's Tendulkar. You talk about the likes of Tendulkar and Dravid and Virat Kohli also now, like, what he's done for India. But what's about Dhoni? I don't know what it is that you don't mind even losing to him that in a final, right? What's about this guy? And you could see how much it meant to Dhoni also, Sharon. That was a sensational win for them. And like you said, to come out and chase 170 in 90 balls, Sheldon, I think you got to give it to CSK and MS Dhoni, right?
And I think what sums up CSK and how they played this season is the way they batted yesterday. Cameos all around, for them. I mean, you had the openers getting cameos. You had Rahane and Dube. Before the season, who would have taken Rahane and Dube in their team? Not many, right? Not many would have had them 3 and 4 in their team.
RCB had them, Rajasthan had them.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just saying how they were doing before, right? Not many would have taken them. And Tony's just reinvented the whole team. You think about like even Gaikwad and Conway, what an opening partnership they've been. Probably like right up there, the best opening partnerships this season as well.
Oh, yeah, and really, yeah.
And that middle order as well. They have Dhoni, Jadeja, Mohit didn't come out to bat yesterday. Ambati Rayudu playing his last game, Big fan of Ambati Rayudu, Dil, as you know. But yeah, his last.
Don't be harsh, Sheldon. Come on.
No, in fairness, yeah. I know we were texting during the game and I was bashing Rayudu a bit during the start of his innings, but he made up for it in the end and it was a pretty good cameo. Like which led to a very good cameo as well. And his last game as well, I think we got to give word to Rayudu. 5 or 6 time IPL champion, right? If I'm not mistaken now.
6 time with Rohit Sharma.
6 time, wow. Wow, 6 time. And he's been a great servant for Chennai and for Mumbai. I think, especially Mumbai, I thought he was terrific during like the early years of his career and a terrific player. And like to sign off with another IPL title for him also is like golden.
Absolutely there. Rayudu, brilliant knock there. He just came out there, smoked the balls all around. And when it mattered the most, I think, Sheldon, because we were thinking like, okay, now they have to hit a six. And there you see it was just happening, right? Dube has to hit a six now. Boom, he hits two. Forget one, he sends two out of the ground there. But that was a sort of innings, like you said, Sheldon. Everyone came in, and Conway, what a start Conway had given them. Rightly adjudged man of the match also. He just took it on from ball one there, and he always kept the momentum going there and didn't back out. But sensational knocks there from everybody leading up. A bit sad there that MS couldn't get CSK over the line there. First ball duck, how often that happens there. It was written for him today to do it, but unfortunately couldn't. But then, Sheldon, you got to think of MS Dhoni, right? Everything comes around him now. And Harsha Bogle asking him at the post-match presentation there that, are you going to come back? Every year we keep speaking about that, but and he said this was a sort of perfect match where he could say thank you very much and go. But I think the love that everyone has given him, he wants to come back another time and probably say goodbye, farewell to this amazing sport. And I think, Sheldon, when he does that in Chennai, I think that's going to be the best. That's going to be an iconic moment, I think, right? So what are the chances, Sheldon, that he's going to finish off there at the Den there for CSK and then just say thank you very much?
The IPL 2024 final at the Chipok, Chennai lifting the cup, Dhoni to do it, his last game ever at the IPL, right? No, but I think definitely he has to end it there. I mean, to think what Chennai's done for Dhoni as well and what Dhoni's done for Chennai Super Kings. I mean, there's no Chennai Super Kings without MS Dhoni. He's the flag bearer of this great, team and this franchise. And honestly, it would be the perfect send-off for him to end in Chennai. Whether it's a final or even not, playing the whole tournament. But just for him to finish that would just be like the dream send-off for Dhoni.
Absolutely, Sheldon. And I can't wait for next year. If he plays there, I'm going to go down to watch that, Sheldon, because I think it's just about a guy who's given the sport so much, so much of happiness spread around and some iconic games there with his brilliant leadership skills. We can go on and on. We can have an entire podcast on Dhoni and it still won't be enough what he's done there, Sheldon. But what a game we've had, Sheldon. Any final moments there? I know we've covered so many matches in this IPL and we've had some amazing moments there, which we will come to later on. If there's anything that you want to say for this IPL, I mean, we had a fantastic IPL, Sheldon, this year. The amount of sixes that were hit, scores that have been chased down, some tremendous batting there. Shubman Gill, Mohammad Shami, Rashid Khan. We can go on and on. Virat Kohli, back-to-back hundreds. There's some crazy knocks there, such crazy moments there, Sheldon. But if we had to pick that one moment, just one moment to sum up the IPL, what would it be?
Oh, one moment to sum it up till that'd be so tough. But I think it got to be the last ball of the tournament. I mean, to think of it, Dil, how long was this tournament? Around a month, right? And we still didn't know who was going to win until the last ball, right? And we still didn't know. And we went to that moment and for it to end with a team needing 4 of 1, of the last ball, and for him to get that 4, and then you see it was the result everyone wanted as well from day one. You think the way it started with all the Chennai fans in Ahmedabad on day one, and they outnumbered them there, and even in the final, and it was like a life comes full circle moment for Chennai, and just the perfect end to a perfect tournament.
Well, I have to agree with you. Even if I didn't want to, I have to agree with you because that was very well said. It came on to the last ball and we still didn't know who was going to win. And that's the beauty of the sport, guys. It's such an amazing tournament we've had there. Like I said, some amazing moments also, which we'll have a separate podcast on. But thank you so much for watching all our videos. I hope you enjoyed all these videos that we've put out in the IPL. I know some, were really good matches, some heartbreaks there for some teams. And in the end, you've got to say that the better team won, the team that needed the most, that, you could see it in them, that they wanted it. But tough luck to Gujarat. I thought they were absolutely brilliant. They played really well, but it was just that one man's destiny was already written for them to come and lift that cup up. And it was Mahendra Singh Dhoni once again lifting for a 5th time, a record time. They're equaling Mumbai Indians record as well. And it'll be interesting to see whether he's going to come back another year, next year. Hopefully he will, to say one final time, thank you to all his fans. But we at Boundary Line Podcast would like to thank all our viewers, our subscribers, and everyone who watched this video. Thank you so much for all the support. We really appreciate it. Continue to show the support. Do like, share, and subscribe, guys. Share this video with your friends. And you may ask, what's next? Now that the IPL is over, what's next? Don't worry, we have lots in store coming up. The World Test Championship coming up, so we got our take on that as well. We will be making videos on that as well. And of course, the much-awaited Ashes tour there, that's going to happen later this month. So that's also going to be interesting. five test match series there, England, Australia. We can't wait for that to happen. But from us here at Boundary Line Podcast, from Sheldon and me, thank you so much, guys, for all the support. And we'll see you soon in the next video.